What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from ActiveMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and this is Civil War. It is currently available in the Apple Store. Eventually, it's A24, so it'll go to Max, so it should have audio description there. Maybe better audio description, but I don't know. They might just take the audio description that they have. And so we'll talk about it. Anyway, because I have a large blind audience, I like to introduce myself now. I've got a purple hat, it's on backwards, black sunglasses, and I'm wearing a Thor t-shirt from Love and Thunder. Yeah. Anyway, so this is Alex Garland's newest film. Alex Garland is the director of such films as Ex Machina, Annihilation, and Men. This is kind of a different take for him. This is moving in a different direction. I think this was A24's largest budget film at the time. They threw the most amount of money at it, and it still is not that high budget of a film. Like, he did a lot with like 60 million. It's like a mid-budget film. Like, Matthew Vaughn got like $200 million to do Argyle. So, maybe Alex Garland should have done Argyle. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, this is Kirsten Dunst. It's Wagner Moura. It is Kaylee Speeney. Mainly kind of like those three are like the leads. And as you may have heard, Jesse Plemons is in this for a few minutes. Also, Nick Offerman is in this for a brief period of time. So, this is set in our future. It's a look at what our future could be, very quite likely, at some time in the future, with like a new civil war. But the factions are split up more, and the troops are different, and just the violence across the country. Garland doesn't say anything politically here. I think everybody was worried about this being like something that was just like, oh, that's just liberal trash from the woke mob. Fuck you. No. Watch the damn movie. He doesn't have anything to say. I've never seen a man more afraid to have something political to say than this. It's one of those wars where you forget why people are fighting because it's never really quantified. He just wanted to make a movie sort of about what it would be like if there was a civil war in America currently. And he goes pretty broad with it. Like, one of the things everybody's pointed out is, in what world, when California and Texas secede together, first of all, they don't even connect. Like, how are they getting troops? Like, what are they doing? That's the thing I didn't even understand. I was like, they would have had to get like at least like New Mexico, Arizona, Nevada, like something down along the coast, so that they had some sort of route between the states. But it's, I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. There's such a lack of explanation here in terms of these factions, in terms of what they want, in terms of really what makes them different. There's like a Florida thing where they're, I don't know. There's a couple different things that are happening. It's not even just like basically the world is in chaos. Our country, almost it's like all 50 states are fighting each other. He should have just done that, every state for themselves. This makes no sense. I was trying to follow his train of thought here, but because he doesn't want to establish it or actually have anything to say about it, it makes it really hard to follow. And to the point that our lead characters, played by the three actors that I listed as main character, not the other two, Wagner Moura, Kirsten Dunst, and Kaylee Speeney are all photojournalists. So their job is to sort of, or journalists of some kind, I don't know, they're all reporters. Uh, I don't know why I don't actually think Ragnar Moore's character is a photojournalist. I think the girls are, but yeah. So they want to try to get to Washington D.C. To be there before it falls and get and capture sort of like the last photos of like the White House and maybe even get with the president before ahead of time, before, because we start in the beginning, like the opening scene is Nick Offerman, who plays the president in this, giving a speech. And I was kind of like, you know what? I dig President Nick Offerman. I know, like, in this scenario, it sucks to be him because things are not going well, but he should be a president in something else. I feel that in my bones. I don't know if he's been a president in anything else, but I feel like that was a strong choice and I want to watch it again. So if some other writer could pick him up and put him into something where he's in it for more than 5 minutes, it'd be great. What's West Wing around him? I don't know. I found him an intriguing casting choice, and sadly we get too little of him. But he gives this speech that makes it sound like America's winning and we're fighting back, blah, blah, blah. It's obviously bullshit. When we cut to the photojournalists, they're capturing basically like violence all around them all the time. So this is like an extremely violent movie without being like Saving Private Ryan. Because their job is to sort of observe the horrors of war. So, now these are a lot of like regular people, so they don't all have like grenades and landmines and stuff to be able to blow people off. So there's not that like one guy wandering around like holding his intestines and Saving Private Ryan. That's not here, but there are a lot of dead bodies, and there's like, death pits where they just have filled them up with mass graves. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing happens in this. Apparently, we do that in the future as Americans. So, lots of sort of horrifying things that Alex Garland is trying to convey, except, again, we know nothing, and he's told us nothing. Even with the photojournalists, we don't know the rules of photojournalism in this day and age. Like, how far does your press pass get you? They don't really have that conversation, and which is really, really actually sad, because he does there's a trope, which is always like the first day on the job trope. They joke about this in cop things, that training day thing, basically, like Ethan Hawke, like, this is your training day. And it's a great way to sort of introduce, TV shows do this a lot. They always have somebody who's like brand new on the job, and then it gives the audience an opportunity to meet everybody and see the general tone of the show. Kaylee Spaney's new to this. She doesn't really have an outlet. She just wants to be a photojournalist, and she meets Kirsten Dunst's Lee character, and even comments on how she shares the same name as her favorite photojournalist, Lee, which is, interestingly enough, there's a biopic on her with Kate Winslet starring, which is languishing. I don't know when that thing's going to come out. I mean, we've been talking about Kate Winslet and Lee for 2 years now. That movie must be terrible. Just for nobody to want a Kate Winslet biopic. Just not even Bleecker Street? Like, anyway, so back to the movie. So she's brand new, so you could explain shit to her like a lot. You could get a lot of explaining in. But Alex Garland is like, no, I'm A24. I'm an artistic filmmaker. I'm not doing this. This is not me. This is not who I am. This is not my brand. I had a film where a man birthed himself. I shall not explain anything. So he just totally wastes the fact that Kaylee Spaney is new, and nothing was ever explained to her. She's just kind of like, I don't know, pick shit up as it comes along. But unfortunately, nothing's really ever explained to the audience. So, like, one time they're showing their press pass, and they're like, oh, we're press. And the other times they're like, no, they're showing the press pass. And it's like, I don't know the dynamic. I don't always know where you are in the country. I don't know who these factions are. They were poorly established. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why they're fighting. I don't know what they're looking for. Is it bad to be Latino in certain areas of the country? Is it bad to be black? Is it bad to be a female? Is it bad? Like, what? Fucking say something, man. Like, you don't have, it doesn't have to be today's current politics, but if you're not going to say something about your film and the America that you live in, then why did you make this? Like, it's just, it's just kind of like, it's frustrating because there's stuff here and I get it. And I get what Alex is trying to do here, but it just doesn't quite work because because there's just no there's no context. So it's just like, this could be anything. This could be literally like photojournalists walking around the country in a war of men versus aliens. Yeah, it's same thing. It would be the same thing because you would have no idea why anybody was doing anything and what areas were safe and what areas were not. So it just doesn't matter. Like, his whole setup, his whole premise, the one thing that everybody was like, ooh, this movie. He was so afraid of conflict that, you know, just backed away from it altogether. Just was like, no, I won't have any of it. Create your own, rewrite it. It doesn't, that, your America doesn't have to resemble our America at all. You know, you could make California a red state and Texas a blue state and have, I mean, just fucking something, man. But because you say nothing, this film says nothing. This film has very little to offer or say. Because it's just like, war is terrible. Cool. Lots of films show me that. You know, kudos. So, sadly, I know some people are gonna think, well, it's, you know, it's A24, so it's supposed to be. It just doesn't. No, you can still be smart, man, and be an artistic film. Like, you can do both. You can actually have something to say and say it, and instead of like suggesting and being like, ooh, maybe I won't say anything, but they'll pick up what I'm trying to say. Jesse Plemons is good in this, but I don't know. Some people were like, oh, he should get an Oscar nomination. I was like, for that? Can we stop giving Jesse Plemons Oscar nominations just every time he breathes? Like, he wasn't that great in Power of the Dog. You know, then people started like wondering, ooh, is he going to get a nomination for Killers of the Flower Moon? Okay, he was okay in Killers of the Flower Moon, you know? And then we come to Civil War, and people are like, oh my God, he's so good in Civil War. And it's like, yeah, he's good in Civil War. And I'm also hearing like kind of, oh my God, he's kind of, what is up with Jesse Plemons? Like, yes, he is a good actor. He is a great actor. None of these are like top 5 performances of any year. Like, I do think he has the potential, but he's not being challenged enough. He's playing the quiet guy far too much. The guy, the unsuspecting guy that just kind of stands in the background is becoming his shtick. The guy that you're like, I don't know. I guess that's kind of why they like this, is because he's a little bit more assertive, but he's still very quiet for this type of role. It's not a scene-chewing role, which I'm sure people were like, oh, well, this could have been, and some other actor would have taken it in another direction. Okay, but it's still a small role in this film. I don't know. I just feel like this is not... It's overhyped. Audio description was done by some dude. I don't know, like, literally, he gets billing above his company, which makes me think it's his company, and they just hired some dude to do the audio description. I'm not familiar with the narrator. I did write down his name, but I didn't care. I don't know, his like Epic Inc. or something like that is like his something's. I was like, what is your company? And the whole audio description just didn't. The quality didn't sound good. It didn't sound like for a major release. A24 has produced some really solid audio description tracks before and frequently uses deluxe. It's very weird that on their highest budget film that they trimmed budget here and went with this guy. Um, is it written okay? Sure. I mean, he follows the standard guidelines. He's just not an engaging narrator. He's incredibly boring for a film that's full of action. I just Dude could read me bedtime stories. I'm not trying to be mean, but like seriously, it's like this is a war film, man. I don't know what to tell you. I'm supposed to be, on the edge of my seat, and there was nothing about this narration that brought me to the edge of my seat. You know, um, I don't think he really. There wasn't anything that was really weird. He's pretty good at capturing and trying to describe the violence on screen. So he might be a good writer. I don't know that he's the best narrator. If he's running his own company, he should probably just find somebody who's more of a voice actor and delivers more of a performance, because this was just kind of AD ambient, audio description ambient. Um, every scene that was supposed to be intense was like, the red shirt and the blue shirt move up the stairs. They reach the top of the stairs. They look around. Nothing's there. They look to the left, they look to the right. Guns fire. It's like, it's just like, of course, it kind of fits what Alex Garland is doing here. Like, Alex Garland is like deconstructing what you thought this movie might be. So I guess this guy's deconstructing what I thought audio description might be. So everything is subverting my expectations. I don't know. I didn't really like this that much. I think, again, I think there's some stuff here. I think the performances from the three lead actors are fine, actually. And honestly, Nick Offerman and the whole cast is fine. There isn't a single person here I'd throw an Oscar at, but everybody's good. I didn't have a problem with any of the acting here, so it's well cast. There wasn't somebody who was like, ooh, please give them less dialogue. But yeah, it's probably the acting is the strongest thing here. Other than that, the thing that Garland does right is a sort of persistent capturing of the horrors of war. It goes the whole time, and he goes bold in the end. I was surprised we ended the way we did. That we went where we went with this, and it's a very bleak ending. So that is where I want my where I want to feel subverted, isn't stuff like that, is when in those moments, that's where I want to feel that subversion. In Jesse Plemons' scene, the reason why people like that is because it subverts expectations. That's where I want that. Just being confusing and not really explaining what the hell is going on does not make you a great director. It just makes you, I don't know, a little egotistical, thinking that you can get away with that your direction is so strong that people will watch and love your movie even if it doesn't quite make any sense. So I'm going to give Civil War, I'm going to give it a C+. I think he did a lot with a very little budget, and the acting is strong. Audio description is... I've never heard of the company before. I've never heard of the narrator before, and I never need to hear from them again. I'm fine with this dude being a writer, but it sounds like he recorded this and edited it and did everything on his own. Homegrown would be the word I would use to describe. It just really doesn't sound like it's professional audio description. And I don't know why anybody would choose this. I don't know how he presented to A24 to get himself onto the project. or if it is an actual company, not just a dude. But notably, I've never heard a narrator credited above the company. So he was credited before the company, which makes me think it's actually his company. So anyway, um, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I will see you guys on the other side.